Hello, and welcome back to another gardening video. In this video, I'm going to be clearing this half of the vegetable bed, which is my tomatoes and the kind of deadened spring onions and carrots now. And then I'm just going to rake up all of the leaves from the lawn and layer that down over the cleared half of the vegetable patch, and that will act as a mulch. And then I'll spread a thin layer of compost over that, and then a layer of cardboard sheets that I've already cut, and then weigh them down with stones. And then that will just mulch that half of the bed, meaning that all the nutrients from the leaves and the compost will just rejuvenate the soil for next year when I begin planting again. So that's what we're going to do in this video. And yeah, let's get into it. So now we're just going to rake up all of these leaves into a nice little pile, and then that will mean that we can get to all the weeds that are underneath the leaves at the moment. So yeah, let's get into it. So, now that we've raked up all the leaves, we can now start clearing this half of the bed. So we're going to leave the broad bean, and we're just going to get rid of all the weeds here, and then also the spring onions that are kind of over now, and then the tomatoes, which are just completely dead. And we'll also pick up the rotten tomatoes that are on the ground. So yeah, I'll just get my tools and then we'll start. So we've got some good cutting tools here that we'll use to cut the tomatoes. But first of all, we're just going to dig up the spring onions and the weeds. So we've got a trowel to do this with. So we'll just get the weeds and just dig them up by the roots to make sure that they don't grow back, like this. See, these are weeds, so we'll just put them to one side in a nice little pile, and then we'll put them in a gardening bag to put in the bin later. So you see these spring onions here, you see how they're rather small. Well, I didn't thin these ones very well, so they haven't been able to get very big. So I'll have to remember that as a mistake I made this year and an improvement that I'll make next year. Look at these two carrots I just pulled up. I didn't even realise these were here, so I'm going to keep them and we can eat them later today. Okay, so now that we've cleared all of the spring onions and carrots, we can now cut the tomatoes away. And with the tomatoes, you can see how at the moment they're looking rather really dead, and so that's why we're cutting them away. And instead of just pulling the whole thing up by its roots as you'd normally do, I'm gonna just cut it right here at the stem, like this. And the reason that I'm doing this is that it's actually better to leave the roots in the ground than it is to pull them up, as you'd think to do normally. And the reason for that is the roots, they've they've basically sucked up all the nutrients for an entire year from the ground. And so if I pull them up, then all of those nutrients will be taken away and they won't be returned, even if I do mulch it a bit. But if I leave the roots in, then all the nutrients that they've absorbed will just like leach back into the soil, because they'll decompose over winter because the plants have been removed. And so yeah, if you're pulling in any vegetables up, or even other plants, just cut them at the base and leave the roots in, as that will help to improve your soil quality. So we'll just finish cutting these away, and we'll cut all the string off the wall a bit later with some better scissors for that job, as it doesn't look that nice at the moment because they've all kind of been rained on a lot. So just finish clearing it like this. And so now we've cleared everything, and so now we can add the layer of leaves and then soil and then cardboard. So let's do that. So now we're just going to get handfuls of leaves, and there are quite a few weeds kind of mixed in with them, but hopefully they'll just decompose. And if we also put a layer of soil on top and then cardboard, then they won't be able to grow through. So we'll just pile all these on and then spread them out a bit like this. And then this means that we don't have to put it in the bin, so it's saving it from going into like land waste. And then it's also really helping, it will really help to boost my soil, as it's putting natural organic matter onto the soil rather than using like fertilizers, like chemical fertilizers to boost soil like farmers do, or other sorts of growing like that. So now that it's all on like that, we'll just get the rake and then try and even it out a bit. So we've got the rake like this, and we'll just kind of push it all around a bit, like this, just to try and even it out and make sure it's not too thick of a layer. And there we go. Now we've added a nice layer of leaves like that, and so now we're just going to get some compost and just put a layer on top to just kind of weigh it down a bit. So we're just getting compost like this, and then we'll just, yeah, I think we might actually empty this bag because there's not much left. So just get the whole bag and just kind of pour it. And I think we might actually get a bit more because it's not quite enough. So we'll just get another bag of compost, and then once we've done that, we can just, we use the trowel now, but we can just get some more shovels full and throw them on. And this is the first time I've actually done this. I didn't even know what mulching was until like about half a year ago, and so hopefully this will work. I think it will, because I've done quite a lot of research into it, but we'll just have to wait and see. And this will stay like this, I mean with the cardboard added on top, until around about March, when I will begin planting again. And with the other half of the vegetable patch, with the broad beans and the Swiss chard, we will just, we won't mulch that because there's things there. And so when they've finished, even if that's like end of February, or even if they don't finish and we have to pull them up so that we can begin planting again, I'll just lay like a 1 or 2 inch layer of compost without any of the leaves, and that'll just give it a bit more like new soil that hasn't had all its nutrients leached out of it. So yeah, we'll do that. So we'll just finish putting all this soil on like this. So there we go, just about enough soil, and then we'll just get the rake and just even it out a little bit. And now we're just going to go and get some cardboard and then we'll lay it on top and then weigh it down with stones, and that will trap the heat inside. Okay, so we've got the cardboard, which is just some big slabs like this from boxes, and we've got a bag of stones that we just collected from the beach. So it's all natural, and we're not using like landscape fabric, which is unsustainable and like that. This is just a sustainable method, and it just looks a bit nicer as well. So we're gonna get one bit of cardboard like this, and I haven't actually measured it, but I think it roughly fits in the bed. Yeah, look at that. Exactly perfect, fits on. And so then we'll just get another sheet and put it on the other side like this, and then just get the final sheet and just put it in the middle like this, just to weigh it down a bit. And actually, looking at it, I think this one underneath is going to come along a little bit like this, just to cover it up, and then this one go in the middle like that. And so now we'll get our bag of stone. So we're just going to get some nice big ones like this and just put them down where I think they'll be good. So put one there like that, and then another nice big one like this, and we'll put that one here like that, and then get a couple of nice other ones like this, and we'll just put these down here like this. And what these stones will do is, basically, when it rains or it's super windy, we don't want all this cardboard to blow away, so the stones will just help to weigh it down a bit. Now that side of the bed is completely mulched, and so I'll just show you an overview of what the rest of the bed looks like. So this is what the bed is looking like now. The left-hand side is completely mulched, and then in the middle are the broad beans, which I planted a couple of months ago, and they're growing so well. Like, you can see how big they've gotten. And then the Swiss chard down here, they're rather small, but yeah, very good. And then you can see the broad beans a bit closer, much better. And then Birchy over here, he's lost almost all of his leaves. You can see just these bare branches now with a couple of yellowing leaves. And then the apple tree, as you can see, is also really bare. It's only got a few green leaves left on compared to when it was laden before. And yeah, we've got pockets are doing really well. We just got some turf delivered, and so we're going to be laying that in the next couple of days, so that'll be really exciting. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like the video and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been quite an active one with mulching the bed and clearing up all the leaves. And I'm going to be releasing a Q&A video quite soon. If that be part 1 or part 2, I'm not quite sure yet. But make sure to have a look out for that. So thank you and goodbye.